Finding the right smart TV for dementia patients is all about simplicity for seniors. We're ranking the easiest smart TV for dementia patients options based on simple menus, easy remotes, and stress-free use. If you want a smart TV for dementia patients that older adults can use comfortably, this list is for you. At number 5, the Insignia F30 Fire TV makes the list because it keeps things affordable and relatively easy, but compared to everything above it, it still asks users to do more thinking. The 55-inch model typically sells between $250 and $350 and uses a direct-lit LED display with 3840 by 2160 4K resolution and a 60 Hz refresh rate. It supports HDR10 and includes 3 HDMI ports, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, USB, Ethernet, and HDMI ARC. Audio output is around 16 to 20 watts through dual speakers. It runs Fire TV OS with Alexa voice support built directly into the remote. Now, one thing I noticed after watching seniors use this smart TV for dementia patients option is that voice control helps a lot. Saying play news is easier than navigating menus, but the problem appears after turning it on. Fire TV fills the screen with rows of recommendations, apps, and suggested content. There's simply a lot happening visually. For someone dealing with memory challenges, extra choices create hesitation. Setup is easy, and caregivers will appreciate having everything built into one system, but this TV lands at number 5 because ease should reduce thinking, not increase it. At number 4 is the Samsung Q60D, and this is where simplicity starts improving noticeably. Pricing for the 55-inch model usually falls around $550 to $700. It uses a QLED display with quantum dot technology, native 4K resolution at 3840 by 2160, and Samsung's quantum processor Lite 4K. Audio uses a 20-watt speaker system, and connectivity includes 3 HDMI ports, USB, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and eARC support. But the reason it climbs above the Insignia has less to do with specs and more with usability. One thing I noticed after seeing older adults use televisions is that crowded remotes immediately create uncertainty. Samsung's solar cell remote removes a lot of that clutter. Fewer buttons mean fewer wrong presses. The Tizen operating system also feels cleaner and faster than many smart TV systems. Menus respond quickly, and smooth responses matter because delays can cause repeated button presses. Voice support through Alexa and Bixby also reduces navigation effort. As a smart TV for dementia patients, this TV starts creating a more comfortable routine. It's easier to understand, easier to control, and easier for caregivers to set up. Still, the home screen can occasionally become busy with content. At number 3, the LG UR9000 is where things started feeling genuinely easier in everyday use. Pricing generally ranges between $450 and $800 depending on size. It uses a 4K LED display with 3840 by 2160 resolution, a native 60 Hz refresh rate, and LG's Alpha 5 AI processor Gen 6. HDR10 and HLG are included, and audio uses a 20-watt 2-channel speaker system. Connectivity includes 3 HDMI ports, USB, Bluetooth, Ethernet, and Wi-Fi support. But what moved this TV higher wasn't hardware, it was familiarity. One thing that stood out to me after seeing seniors interact with TVs is that predictability reduces stress. LG's WebOS feels organized and easy to follow. Menus stay consistent and apps open quickly. Caregivers can customize shortcuts and organize favorite content. Accessibility features include speech guidance, larger text controls, and hearing assistance settings. I originally thought the Magic Remote would hurt usability because motion controls can overwhelm older users. Surprisingly, many simply ignored that feature and used normal directional buttons. Once that happened, this smart TV for dementia patients' choice became much easier than expected. Daily use felt repetitive in a good way. Turn on TV, choose familiar content, relax. At number 2, Sony Bravia X80L came extremely close to taking first place because it felt almost effortless to understand. Pricing for the 55-inch version usually ranges from $700 to $900. It uses a direct LED panel with native 4K resolution at 3840 by 2160, Sony's X1 processor, Dolby Vision support, HDR10 compatibility, and a 60 Hz refresh rate. Audio uses Sony's X-balanced speaker system with approximately 20 watts output. But here's what stood out to me after watching older adults interact with this smart TV for dementia patients option. They needed almost no explanation. The remote has larger buttons, better spacing, and stronger tactile feedback than many TVs I've seen. Physical familiarity matters more than people realize. It runs Google TV, but Sony organizes the interface in a much cleaner way than expected. Voice support through Google Assistant works reliably and can remove multiple navigation steps entirely. Accessibility options include screen readers, hearing accommodations, larger text controls, and voice navigation. Caregivers benefit too, because setup is straightforward and maintenance stays simple. Sony ranked this high because ease doesn't just come from fewer features, it comes from making technology feel natural. At number 1, Samsung The Frame earns the top spot because it created the simplest and calmest overall experience. The 55-inch model generally ranges from $1,000 to $1,500 and uses a QLED display with quantum dot technology, native 3840 by 2160 resolution, Samsung's quantum processor 4K, HDR support, and a 60 Hz panel. Audio output sits around 20 watts, and connectivity includes HDMI with eARC, Bluetooth, USB, Wi-Fi, and SmartThings support. But none of that explains why it won. One thing I noticed after seeing older adults interact with living spaces is that comfort starts before someone even touches the remote. The matte anti-glare display reduces reflections, helping remove visual distractions. The minimalist solar cell remote has very few buttons, reducing confusion immediately. Tizen feels responsive, voice support works well, and caregivers can simplify layouts. But the biggest difference appears when the TV isn't being watched. Instead of a giant black screen dominating the room, Samsung The Frame displays artwork and family photos. As a smart TV for dementia patients, it creates familiarity, calmness, and routine. And when the easiest TV becomes the one people barely have to think about, that's exactly why it deserves number 1.